Now, in December of 2023, some Ghanaian singers, along with several stakeholders in the Ghanaian entertainment industry, held a conference meeting announcing and urging Ghanaian DJs, TV shows, and other stakeholders to cease playing Nigerian and foreign music in the country, basically instructing them to focus playing 100% Ghanaian music for the fans in order to promote their culture and empower their artists. This did not sit well with Nigerians who were disappointed when the news broke. However, some Ghanaian artists like Shatta Wale expressed their discontent and don't share the same views, as this could spoil the relationship between the two countries. Now, joining us on the show today to discuss the relationship between both countries is Effs, who is a recording artist. She'll also be discussing her career and the release of her latest song, I Like That. Welcome to Arise 360 Effs, and thanks for being here with us.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Now, can you share your thoughts on the recent conference meeting where Ghanaian artists were advocating for an exclusive promotion of local music, and how do you believe this might impact the relationship between Ghana and Nigeria in the entertainment sphere?
Thank you very much. So, I mean, I've been quite clear. This question has come up a couple of times in my engagements. Now, I think the first thing I want to say is I always want to ensure people's opinions, experiences, and feelings are never invalidated. So there were a couple of people who came together to decide this was a good idea and to promote this idea of Play Ghana. And I absolutely appreciate their experiences, their unique experiences in, sort of pushing Ghana music through from the very origins. You've got people like Reggie Rockstone, who's he's an icon in Ghana, from the very early days. He's very much seen, I think some people call him the grandfather of, Ghana, hip life, etc. So I think we need to, when we start to have such discussions, firstly, be quite clear that he has very valid concerns. I also think with every sort of conversation, we need to understand, where these feelings might be coming from. What exactly is driving this initiative? Because it didn't just come out from air, and certainly it's not just, it's not just happening in a silo. For me as an artist, I think, the need for nationalism for a country that is smaller than Nigeria, the need for national pride, the need for belief in oneself, the need for identifying as Ghanaian and truly believing in what that means is absolutely necessary. And each country should have that sense of national pride. However, I believe that the conversation shouldn't start with the arts. And I think once I've said before, and I will say again, once we start to colonize artistic expression and freedom of artistic enlightenment, i.e. people being able to embrace art wherever, it aligns with them, I think we enter a very dangerous arena. We start going down a very dangerous path, because where does it stop? If we're saying you need to stop one specific kind of music, why only Nigerian music? Why do we stop Tanzanian music as well? And does that have an impact on Ghanaian artists? I also think it just sets the wrong precedent. And as a Ghanaian, I'm super Ghana proud. I'm super Ghana centric. I'm super believer in Ghana arts, Ghana talent. And I do believe there's a need for us to push through, that sense of Ghanaian national pride. And I think as a country, when we start looking at how we promote Ghana to make it effective for Ghana progress, I think starting the conversation in the artistic corner is just the wrong place to start it. We're talking, if we look at what's happening in the country currently, the economic crisis around the world, and certainly Ghanaians that, in day to day are struggling, smaller businesses, etc., looking at the impact on people's livelihoods, people's mental health, the things that I feel would make an immediate impact is supporting smaller businesses. It's being able to enable Ghanaian commerce to happen. And that's, respecting smaller businesses, understanding, how we support artisans, understand how we support the day-to-day smaller businesses to thrive in Ghana currently. And I think these are the sort of conversations we need to start with. Because at the end of the day, the livelihood of people always comes from, them being able to have a business that enables them to support themselves and their families. And I just feel like there's that conversation about national pride and pushing one's national identity and belief in one's national identity shouldn't start from colonization of one's artistic expression. I think it sets a dangerous precedent, although at the same time, I think the conversation needs to be balanced and not invalidating quite, genuine concerns of people who have come before people like myself and helped to build the hip life and, Afrobeat and Afro pop industry to what it is today, and we have ridden on the backs of their hard work. So as much as I do respect their concerns and where it may be coming from, I think also people need to understand, like I say, Ghana is a smaller country, and it's easy to always be seen as in the shadow of the larger African nations. But I do think Ghanaian sense of national pride and pushing Ghanaian as an identity and the belief in Ghana and pushing Ghanaian commerce ahead, I don't believe it starts with the colonization or the restriction of Ghanaian Ghanaian people or Ghanaian community to be able to listen to a type of music. I think it sets a dangerous precedent.
Also about cultural exchange, and when we think about music, it's always been sort of a powerful medium for cultural exchange, and this sort of decision to focus solely on Ghanaian music might impact diversity and sort of richness of the musical landscape in Ghana, right?
Absolutely. I feel also that we're at a point where in the world we just have to accept where we are where we are. We are a far more global world as it is. We are all so digitally connected. Before we used to talk about 6 degrees of separation. Now they're saying because of social media, we've actually recognized it's probably 2 degrees or 3 degrees of separation, i.e. we all know each other. We're literally living in this world now where, you're only like 2 degrees from somebody that you think is a stranger. You'll find that you are connected to them through some other type of network. So we are living in a globalized environment now where we are sharing ideas. Things go viral not because one country plays it, because the entire world embraces it. Videos go viral, songs go viral. Black Sharif, that song, the starter song, song that where I started to get to know Black Sharif from, that very famous, I'm Kweku the Traveler. That was through Instagram. So globally, I think we need to understand that, we need to embrace each other and that partnership. I don't think this is the time for Africans to be more separatist. Looking at the way the world is going now, if, my message to Africans will be to hold on to that very thing that binds us, this motherland, this continent. We are far more similar than we are separate. This is not the time for separatist ideas. But again, I still do think the conversation does need to be had. So it's not to say this is not a conversation we should be having at all. We do need to have conversations, because if a smaller country does not feel it's being given the right exposure, if artists are not feeling they're being given the right exposure, their concerns are valid. But the conversation needs to be far more balanced, and we also need to appreciate what would actually genuinely change the lives of Ghanaians, their livelihoods, putting money into people's pockets so they can simply pay their bills and take care of their kids. What is the thing that would actually change that? And it's not restricting people's ability to listen to different types of music.
I'll tell you, that's a beautiful message you have there. Let's shift gears a bit now and talk about your latest song, I Like That. And I like that. I like the song. It's garnered a lot of streams on platforms like Boomplay, also Spotify, in just, I think, 3 weeks. So congratulations on that. Now, can you share with us the inspiration behind that track and what you hope your fans can take away from it?
So that track is born as a combination of my lyrical, my songwriting talent and the genius that is Richie Mensah. So I want to pay homage. I want to shout out to Richie Mensah of Links Entertainment, a dear friend who gave me the incredible privilege of being able to have one-to-one sessions with him where we could grow music organically. And we managed to create this stunning track that I think has resonated with so many people, especially at this festive time. And I certainly hope you will be streaming I Like That continuously throughout 2024. So that's the inspiration for him. And, looking at myself, where I'm identifying myself as an Afrofusion artist, And talking about this idea of separatism, you know, my track, I like that, is got a foundation, Amapiano style, right? The foundation, the base of the track is Amapiano. This is not a Ghana thing. So it would be, you know, completely counter effective for me to be saying, you know, like the only way to promote my country is to only play my country's music. I think we need to look at far more innovative and I would say people gathering or team gathering ways of bringing together people to actually foster genuine change. My track is inspired by Amapiano, which comes from South Africa. How would I feel if South Africans said, oh, I don't think other people should be doing Amapiano. It's, you know, cultural appropriation, and Ghanaians should just not touch Amapiano. It's ours, and it's, you know, they don't know how to do it properly. So again, we are living in a global world, guys. You just need to, you know, get used to that fact and learn to embrace it and find out ways which we can make globalization work in our favor. So it's an Amapiano style track, but I blended R&B vocals with it, which is what I think people really relate to, because those who genuinely love the hardcore R&B fans really, you know, the track really resonates with them. And it's just had incredible sort of reviews. We've had incredible reception across the world. And again, my fans are all around the world, predominantly Nigeria. I've seen, like, you know, our streams, our analytics are showing us, but I have even fans who have been shazamming me in Poland. So I love every single one of my fans, and I don't take any of them for granted.
Keep talking about being an interconnected world. I mean, you're here in Nigeria promoting your music, promoting your brand, and this current globalized music industry. You're from the UK, originally from Ghana. There's a way, how do you balance sort of local identity with international appeal? How do you approach this as an artist? And do you believe there's sort of a middle ground that allows for both local and foreign influences in your music?
Absolutely. You know, I have had the privilege of being, you know, exposed to different, you know, parts of the world, growing up in Ghana, growing up in England as well. I've even spent some time in France. I'm certainly a child of the world, but first and always foremost, a child of Ghana. Me a Ghanani, as we say in my language in Tree. Me a Ghanani, I am a Ghanaian. So my local identity, my name Effs, is just a shortened moniker of Effia. So Effia means born on a Friday. So when you talk about how do you sort of balance my local identity, my first identity will always be Ghanaian, and that will never leave me, right? I will always feel first and foremost like a Ghanaian, but I also pretty much appreciate that I'm not your typical Ghanaian, because I did not necessarily have the typical trajectory. My journey hasn't been typical, because I have been raised also in England, and that certainly has also blended or seeped through into my music, because I've had influence from pop stars, pop music, international music all around the world. I grew up, you know, with a family and a father that was super enlightened and super adventurous when it came to music. I, you know, listened to people like Celine Dion. I also listened to Pavarotti. I listened to Andrea Bocelli, Articolo 31, an Italian rap group growing up. So I've had a varied, you know, sort of experience growing up with music, and that has naturally influenced what I am today as an artist. I'm not the sort of typical middle of the road artist. I enjoy music from all types of, you know, areas, all types of backgrounds, but certainly because of my Ghana identity, I've always sort of dabbled with Afrobeat a lot more. I've worked with Afrobeat producers back in the day at university a lot more. So it's not surprising that today, you know, when I resurrected my music career, I went back into Afrofusion. But naturally, my beloved artists, people that I admire, people that I'm inspired by, your Toni Braxton, your Nina Simone, your Etta James, you'll find a lot of that influences the way in which I sing, my natural vocals, and the sort of music that I tend to write as well. So that's how I balance that out. I think it is just a combination of my experience growing up and also the experiences I've had all around the world, living in different parts of the world.
Effs, let's talk collaborations. You know, when there are some collaborations between artists from different countries, different genres, they often lead to incredible musical fusions. How do you view this sort of cross-cultural collaborations, and do you have any such aspirations in the future? I know you've been in Nigeria meeting music executives. Any sort of collaborations with the Nigerian artists sort of promote unity between the two countries?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, when I look at what Nigeria is doing for Afrobeats and just simply the African identity around the world, you know, I have to say, you know, I'm so happy to live in a time when we're hearing, you know, people in Europe speaking and singing Yoruba songs the way we used to sing Black American rap music, even though we'd never had the Black American experience, and we so resonated with it because we saw the brotherhood. So I think I'm so happy that I live in a time when this is real, this is happening currently, you know, as Shake. And in the music world, you've got also, you know, just even your actors and stuff, people like John Boyega, who are very much a champion of his Yoruba culture and identity. So with respect to collaboration, I'm super open as an emerging artist. And also, I just think as an artist that has experiences and blends her music into Afrofusion, I think I tend to be more of an open artist because my voice and my songwriting technique does merge quite well with several types of artists. I have mentioned that my favorite African pop star till date is still Davido because his music has always been simply sweet. It doesn't have to try and be sophisticated. It doesn't try to be anything, you know, outside of, you know, sort of this world. It's just incredibly sweet, nurturing lyrics that are heartwarming. He tells stories that are heartwarming, and it's simple stories, simple, great music with great vocals, great storytelling that always resonates with me. I listen to his music even when he's not trending. You know, it's stuff that I will listen to Flora My Flower. I still listen to Ajay. It's still one of my favorite songs. You know, I just love the way in which he sings, the way in which he sort of models his songwriting craft. And it's always resonated with me. So somebody like that, I would love the opportunity to work with. I think on another show, somebody mentioned that it would be great to see someone like Stormzy and me. And I mentioned again, you know, I think with how Stormzy has evolved as like coming from just doing grime to being actually, I would just call him a pop star now because I wouldn't box him into anything. He's a pop star who happens to also be an incredible rapper. I would love the opportunity to work with artists like this who are, you know, sort of breaking boundaries and not constricting and confining themselves to any particular box. If you see Davido, you know, with the Unavailable remix, he's opened this up and he's really explored and been adventurous with it. So he doesn't tend to do this towing the line thing, which I really admire. You know, I love music from all around the world. Even, you know, I'm pretty big into Latino type of music. One of my favorite Latino groups are Gente de Zona. You know, I also love Aya Nakamura. I spent time in France. I studied French at uni. So, you know, I think, you know, my world and my oyster, the world is truly my oyster. And I'm really looking forward to the future and the opportunity to work with a variety of artists and truly just create magic.
Truly your oyster, and I quite agree with you when it comes to Stormzy because I think his music, even though he's like a pop star now, his rap is so strong, and I feel like your soft voice would just blending very well. And even with Davido, I can imagine your voice on like Flora My Flower. It will be amazing. Before we wrap up and let you go, Effs, is there anything you'd love to share with our audience? Looking ahead, what can your fans expect from you in terms of future projects and anything else that you're excited about?
Yes, I mean, the first thing I do want to say is thank you so much to my fans, particularly my fans in Nigeria. You know, you guys have really embraced me as an artist, even coming here, the warm welcome I've received. It truly feels like home, and it's no, you know, doubt, you know, I'm encouraging more Ghanaians to make Nigeria a place that they come for the weekend. It's really just next door. We've had such a warm embrace, such a warm welcome, and it's really just like being at home. There's really not much difference, some small differences in food, etc. But honestly, I'm really like excited about the possibilities of, you know, continuing this journey in my relationship with my Nigerian fans. Keep streaming the music. I think go to our website on officialeffs.com. We've got exciting things coming up. We've got a video that we've shot incredible video shot by Ghana's iconic Nana Esihine. He is a true giant in the music video direction industry. So we've got that coming up for you very soon this year. We've also got an incredible dance challenge. I want to shout out to 360 dancers, these gorgeous children that I absolutely have fallen in love with, who created the first dance to I Like That. So they've inspired me to put out a dance challenge where we're going to give up to 10,000 Ghana CDs for the winner of the dance challenge. So we're going to be releasing that very soon, and we are opening it up to dancers from Nigeria as well, continuing on this theme of embracing globalization, embracing our brotherhood, embracing, you know, the African motherland, and embracing ourselves as a family. So that's a really key thing to be looking out for. So be going to follow us on Official Effs on Instagram, Official Effs on YouTube, on Twitter and TikTok. But more importantly, keep going to the website officialeffs.com to get updates on what's happening with our dance challenge. When is this video coming out, and you know how you can keep up to date with some of the events that we will be performing at. We are going to be coming back to Nigeria again in February, so really excited about more things in store.
Effs, when you come back to Arise 360, and maybe we'll have time for you to show us that dance challenge. Thank you so much for being here with us and speaking to us about your journey, your musical journey on Arise 360.